What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Wrestling in High Definition here on YouTube.com and NoDQ.com, and of course Facebook, Twitter, wherever else we're carried. Thank you guys so much for watching. I first off have to apologize. It's been a while since we taped a show, and I haven't talked about Edge's retirement on a show recently since he retired, and that's my fault, and that's the combined efforts of Aaron and me getting sick, and Aaron going out of town and not being able to get together with me, and that's our bad, and we apologize for that. And I've been getting a lot of feedback on the shows, and I've been getting some stuff saying that, you're very arrogant and very critical, and that's my bad as well. I apologize for that. It just bugs when I get a show, when I do a show, and there's a question that just seems so, But again, I shouldn't go off on you guys. That's not fair to you guys. You guys are the ones that keep us going. Without the almost 19,000 of you, there'd be no show. So thank you guys so much for watching out there in YouTube land. And again, 19,000 subscribers is our goal by Sunday. So thank you guys for helping us get there. Extreme Rules is this Sunday. Don't forget to check out coverage@NoDQ.com. We'll talk about Edge in a minute. I want to get to your questions first today, so let's go ahead and talk about that. The draft from DFAC713. What are your thoughts on the draft and R-Truth's heel turn? First of all, Truth's heel turn, I thought it was the stupidest turn in history. The promo the other night on Raw was okay. The one he came out and kept the promo, that was okay. But the turn itself was goofy. I thought all he did was beat him up and blow cigarette smoke in his face, which in a PG world, not the best idea. Just saying. But we'll see how it goes. I personally am not a fan of Ron Killings as a heel, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he can prove me wrong, because I personally like him as a babyface way better. Alright, the draft. Now, again, this is what I know. I haven't been able to keep up. This is what I know. John Cena went from Raw to SmackDown, back to Raw. Why? It could have made Sunday so much more unpredictable to have Cena on SmackDown and not knowing where the title was going to go, because Alberto Del Rio is on Raw, which is almost a lock that the world title is not going to go to him. So it could have made things more interesting if Cena would have stayed on SmackDown, but he didn't. Mysterio goes to Raw. Mysterio's been drafted, I think, every single time, it seems like to me. I know Big Show has. Big Show, we did the stats last night at the apartment. Big Show got drafted in 2005, and then the last 3 years, 9, 10, 11. He drafted every year. And the tag champions are now on separate shows. Granted, they can be because the tag titles are universal. They can go to both shows. But still, just saying. Randy Orton goes to SmackDown. That's huge for SmackDown. That's a huge loss for Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton's one of, if not the top guys. That's huge. Hark Henry, according to NoDQ.com, Hark Henry goes from Raw to SmackDown. I just love like it says that. Not a big loss for Raw. Mark Henry, I've never been a fan of Mark Henry from day one. Not even sexual chocolate stuff. It's like, really, Mark? Come on. Sin Cara is now officially a member of the SmackDown roster. He was never officially part of any roster. He was kind of a free agent, so to speak, and now he's on SmackDown for sure, which means no Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara matches, or no Alberto versus Sin Cara matches. Sin Cara's going to have to go on his own without any other Mexicans to feud with, so that'll be cool. That'll be exciting to see. Again, Big Show to Raw, and Alberto to Raw. Over on the supplemental draft, which has been going on yesterday, I believe it was, or even today. I don't really know what the hell's going on. Bryan Danielson is on SmackDown now. Jack Swagger's on Raw. The Great Khali and Rimson Sig are on SmackDown, as is Jimmy Uso. Kelly's on Raw, as is JTG. That's what I know as of right now. Bryan Danielson leaving Raw is huge for Bryan Danielson. He'll have to survive in SmackDown land. Maybe feud for the IC Championship with Wade Barrett, former Nexus leader. And Alicia Fox is on SmackDown now. There you go. Wasn't she already on SmackDown? I could have sworn she was on SmackDown already. Jeez. Shows you how much they pay attention to the Divas. I pay attention to the Divas. But with the exception of Bryan Danielson and Jack Swagger leaving their shows not really a huge issue in the supplemental draft. It never really is in the supplemental draft. The draft is the big thing on Monday nights. The stuff that happens in supplemental is not a huge deal. So yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on in the draft. I personally think that the best thing that happened brand-wise for the brands is Randy Orton going to SmackDown and Big Show going to Raw. John Cena going back and forth was stupid. It was stupid. Alright. Next question. From Corona, California. This is Shade Hedgehog FTW. Jeez. During the draft, Cena got drafted from SmackDown, then back to Raw later that night. Personally, I think that's BS because he would have been great on SmackDown. Now the WWE World Title matches at Extreme Rules are more predictable. That's what I said. What are your thoughts? Yeah. With Cena being on SmackDown, if he would have stayed, and Alberto being on Raw, we could have had the potential of both championships switching brands in the same night, which would have been cool. And now we know for sure that Cena and the WWE Championship are not going anywhere, so we're going to have the title stay on Raw, and it's pretty much a lock that Christian's going to win unless they have both championships on Raw like they did at one point during the 2005 draft season. So we'll see. I personally think that was ridiculous. I think that was stupid to have Cena bounce back and forth in the same night. Never been done before. Never been done before. Not the same night anyway. This is from New Brunswick, Canada. His name, or her name, is MFirst3RM4RTS. What do you think of WWE Draft and Supplemental Draft? Which roster got the most out of it? Do you think Cena should have stayed on SmackDown? Do you think Christian has less chances of being the top face with Orton on the show? No question. Whoever wins the championship at Extreme Rules is going to have to deal with Randy Orton. Well, unless it's Alberto, then he's not wrong. Christian winning the championship means he'll deal with Randy Orton at some point down the line, whether Orton's a face or not, whether Christian is a face or not. Orton is arguably now the top face on SmackDown. The top baby face. And if not the top person, period. Christian winning the championship, doesn't make a huge impact as far as that goes. Christian will be the world champion, but he won't be the guy. Randy Orton is the guy on SmackDown now. They lost Alberto. They lost Big Show. They lost Cena. They had him for a second, and Cena went right back to Raw. They have Bryan Danielson. Again, Bryan's never going to be a top guy, but he'll be a top contender for the Intercontinental Championship against Wade Barrett or whoever holds the championship down the line. So yeah, Randy Orton's going to be a huge contender for the championship, whoever ends up with the championship at the end of Extreme Rules. Randy Orton's going to be right there, nipping at the heels. Alright, Edge's retirement. I mentioned this on Facebook briefly, but I'll get into it really quick. Saddened, of course, at the loss of a great competitor, a great superstar in Edge, Adam Copeland. It sucks that he had to leave. It sucks that he had to retire, but it's very, very good that they caught the injury, that they caught the neck problem when they did, instead of having him break his neck or fracture or do something to his neck and have him be paralyzed. So, bravo to the doctors, bravo to Edge for getting it checked out when he did. And I think it's awesome that he gets to go live out his life now and be with his girl and be with his dogs. And I think it's awesome that he gets to have a life outside of the business. And, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm fighting allergies and a cold. I apologize. I know you guys hate when I do that, so I'm sorry. I think that Edge catching the injury when he did is great for him and great for his family. It was cool to see his mom on SmackDown that night with him celebrating his career and his life. It sucks he had to forfeit the World Championship. I don't think we've seen the last of him in a role, though. I think we'll see more of him as the months progress. Maybe he's the Raw GM. Maybe he was fighting himself that whole time. You never know. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, we'll see more of Edge, I'm sure. He's not done. We'll see him come back for commentating and for refereeing and things like that. So we'll see Edge again. No doubt about that. Alright, again, what do you guys think of the draft? It just happened. The supplemental draft is over. What do you guys think of Raw? What do you think of SmackDown? What do you think the future of WWE holds now that the draft has moved everybody around again? Let me know, and we'll see you next time.